So first of all, I wanted to start with, sorry for the pause, I was checking to make sure the timer was going. I wanted to start with the problem we did today, which was, hold on, I got to get my pen here. This one about Luke and his cell phone, okay? He, if you notice, oh gosh darn it. Okay, he wants to buy a cell phone that's on sale for $136. This one I got stumped on. I messed up. I told you guys wrong because I wasn't thinking straight. This, what we know is that the phone cost $136, right? That was the sale price. Okay, and then we also know that the discount was 15%. We do not know the original price. Okay, but one thing that we do know that's not in here is that this $136 is actually 85% of the total cost, right? So we have to remember this 85, because if you take, and where did I get 85? Well, 85 plus 15 is what? That's your 100%, okay? So when you set this up, the piece that I forgot was that this is like a proportion, and the same things have to go together. So for me, I put money together, and I kind of changed this one around. Okay, so when you set up this proportion, you have to have things that are the same together, right? So I need to have money together, and I need to have percents together, or, so that's one way, right? Or the other way is that I can have percents together over here. So I can have, what is it not working? Okay, I can have percents here like this and money like this. And this is the way I like to set mine up, so I'm going to set mine up like this. So what I know is that $136 is the part price. It's it's the sale price. I do not know what the original price was, but I do know that this was 15% off. The reason I can't use 15 is because it's 15% off the original price. Well, that's not what this is. This price is the subtracted amount. So I have to put in 85%, okay? And when I do that, things work out nice. So up here, I can do 136 divided by 85, and I know that that's going to be 1, right? So when I do that, and I do the math, okay, so when I subtract that, I get 51. Well, how many 85s are in 51? You have to bring down the 0. So that's really how many 85s are in 510. And I have to go with 6 because 6 times 5 is 30. And 6 times 8 is 48 plus 3, which gets me 51, which brings me to 0. So I know, right? Oh, the other piece I forgot. You guys should know this. This should be down here. This is 100, right? So that's 100%. So in order to go, if this is my scale factor, 1.6, I need to multiply 85 times 1.6, and I get 136. Here, if I multiply 100 times 1.6, I get 160. So the original price of that cell phone should be 160. This is a 7th grade level problem, being able to know that if I know 15% is the sale price, remember this is the out of the whole, then when I'm doing a proportion, I need the part and I also need the part. So the things need to be the same. And this was the part that went with this part. And we'll go over it more in class, but I wanted to show you that first. Okay, so then on to the homework. I'm going to do one with you, okay? I'm going to do this first one because it's similar to the one that we just did. So the first thing it says is Jaden correctly answered 85% of the questions on his test, okay? So we know that he got 85% correct, okay? We know that he got 6 wrong. And the other thing that we have to infer is that if he got 85% correct, how many did he get wrong? Well, he got 15% wrong. Okay, so that's more pieces that we know. We also know, and we also don't know, because it wants to know how many questions were on the test. So we need the total questions. Okay. So the setup, remember when you're talking about a proportion, it's key that the same things go together. So if I put 6, which is the wrong, so I have to label it with the W, then which percentage am I going to use? I can't use 85 because this is about correct. So I have to use the 15% that goes with the wrong, okay? That's a 6, by the way. And then down here, I don't know the total number of questions, but I do know that percent is out of 100. So again, it's a part and a part, right? And the part in the whole, and the part in the whole is how I set up my my proportion, okay? And in order to solve this, you're going to want to simplify, because I know this is 6, and if I simplify this 15 and divide by 5, I get 3, and I can divide this 100 by 5, and I get 20. Well, I know real quick that 3 times 2 is 6, and I know that 20 times 2 is what? That's right, 40. So there were 40 questions on the test, okay? Hopefully that helps a little bit. The other 2 questions are, I think the second one is pretty good. Remember, what do you know? What do you not know? When I go here to set up my proportion, I know that Dozy made 42 out of 50 of his free throws. It wants to know the percent, so I don't know that, but I do know that percent is out of 100. You should see a real easy scale factor right there and be able to solve that. And then this last one is about me, which this is probably still true, even though I wrote this problem last year. Miss Deagle spends 15% of each weekday traveling in her car. So we know 15% of the weekday, right? The weekday. And it wants to know how many hours per day does Miss Deagle spend in the car. So a couple things that it infers is that you know that there's 24 hours in the day, and you know that there's 5 days in the week, right? The school week, because she's talking about the weekdays, right? So in order to solve this, during the week, that means like the school day. So we assume that that would be 5. Also, I know that, okay, so what we need to know is that we need to know how many hours are in the week, right? Or should we say per week? So in order to set this up, sorry for the sloppy handwriting, I'm trying to find the part. I know that this is 120 because it's 5 days times 24 hours. And I know that it's 15% of that. And we know that percent is out of 100. So there's a couple things we could do here. We could simplify, and I could get 3, and this would go to 20. So then right away, I could see that 20 and 120 are going to have something in common. So it wants to know, how can I get from here to here? Well, 20 times what is going to give me 120? And that would be 6, right? So my scale factor is 6. So here my scale factor is 6. And 6 times 3 is 18. So I know that I spend 18, that's hours, per week in the car, which is probably just about true because I'm always driving to football practice or volleyball practice or soccer practice or something. So that is your homework. I'm not going to give you the answer to this one because I think it's pretty easy. So hopefully you will come to school with that one tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions. We are doing a really cool project starting tomorrow and Friday. So I need you to make sure that you have a device in class tomorrow because you're going to need it, especially on Friday. So hopefully you guys can hear this message and bring those devices. If you don't, share with a friend, pass this video along, and happy mathing.